Peace everyone, Unmask Art here, and welcome back to the Drawing Journal. Alright, so like usual, I'm starting a bit early because I was all set up and ready to go, and I've been wanting to work on this like all last week, but I held off simply so that I can do it on the live stream so you guys can watch and learn, ask questions and whatnot. So I'm going to get right into this because I can't wait any longer. I'm going to finish up the skin down here, her collarbone, her neck, her upper chest part, before I do the hair. I was thinking that I was going to do the hair first, but I want to start with the lighter colors because if I do the hair, trying to blend out around the skin, doing it around the face is already going to be difficult enough. So I'm going to do the skin first down here and then do the hair. I got to work around this necklace a little bit, which I'm not quite sure what strategy I'm going to use to work around the necklace. I basically am just going to try to draw the outline of it and work around it. And then I'll just draw it right on top of the skin, really. I'm going to start with my Faber Castell block here. Nice mid-range skin color. Just get some of this pigment down on the Pastelmat. Hope everybody had a great weekend. I had a good weekend. It was a good weekend. Saturday, many of you were there for Anna and I's live stream, which was great. Although I forgot that in the United States, it was Labor Day weekend. So hopefully everybody had a good and safe weekend. I know in the United States, people tend to go a little crazy for Labor Day weekend. But summer is certainly coming to an end now. Even especially here in Poland, it's been pretty cold the last couple days, so all the really nice weather seems to be behind us now. Now it's finally good weather to stay indoors and do some drawing. And that is exactly what I'm going to be doing. I feel like it was actually kind of hard to work during the summer because it was so nice out, and I just wanted to be outside all the time. But during the colder season, the last thing I want to do is go outside. So I just kind of get motivated to stay in and create. There's just something about like the cold weather that just motivates me to create, because it just seems like the right time of the year to create. So hopefully during the next 6 months where it's much colder here in Poland, it gets really cold here, and it's not so much the temperature than it is the wind. We get a lot of really cold wind that you just don't want to go outside. Hello Hildy, Michael, good morning, Jas. Thanks for coming to the live stream. Glad to see you guys here. Feel free to ask me questions and whatnot. I'm happy to answer your questions. I don't really have much going on, but as you can see, I'm just working on this portrait again. I'm going to blend it out before I start my next layer and try to get some of this, get a little bit better coverage with this pastel, spread it around a little bit. That way I don't have so much dust. I found that using this little sponge thing, I've been able to use a lot less of my pastel, and it just really helps control the amount of dust. As many of you that were here for last week's live stream when I worked on the face, I kept saying how little amount of dust I was dealing with, and I think it has to do with being able to spread the pigment out a little bit more evenly with the sponge applicator as opposed to my finger. And especially because when I use my finger, I have to take into account that I have oils on my skin, and that is going to make the pastel stick a little bit more. So I'm not going to have as much freedom to move it about. Oh, okay, Michael. Glad you spending your break watching the live stream. I appreciate that. Yeah, I agree, Penny. Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like. It's like, you just it's cold out. You stay nice and warm indoors, and you just create. And there's just something about it that puts me in the mood to create. It I feel inspired. I feel more inspired when it's a little bit colder out, and I don't want to be outside, and I just want to stay indoors and be warm. It's very motivating. I have a whole bunch on my plate this week, just like the past couple weeks. So I'm going to try to stay busy. I also want to mention that I'm going to be hopefully starting Polish class soon. So the class starts next month, and I've lived in Poland for a little over a year now, like a year and a half, a little less than that, like a year and some change. And because I work indoors, and I really, the only time I go out and interact with people are on Sundays, and that's when I go play Magic. And I have a couple friends that I see there regularly now, because I've been going there for like 2.5 months or something like that. But even going out, regularly each month, I still don't get into speaking Polish, and I've kind of fallen off on like my individual study. So I just decided, I think that it's going to be best if I get myself into a class, give myself a little structure, a bit of an obligation, rather than, sitting here alone in my flat trying to read from a book how to speak Polish. It's never really connected with me to just sit down and read how to speak Polish. So I think a class will be the best way to go, and I'm hoping that I can stick to it and learn a lot, and finally kind of open the door to being able to speak some Polish with some of my friends. But yeah, other than that, there's not a whole lot going on. Really, I just want to color this. I've been wanting to all week. So I'm today's live stream is probably going to be a bit longer than normal. Even though I never set myself up for like a length of time to live stream, I just kind of do it until I feel done, or I run entirely out of things to talk about. But I almost feel like because of the weather outside, it's really cloudy. I can see it's raining in the distance too, and it's quite cold. It's even cold kind of in my flat right now. So I'm just kind of in the mood to draw and create. So I think I might even finish this today. So I could be live streaming for as long as like 3-4 hours even. So I'll be on here for some time. But if you guys want to help me keep this live stream a bit more interesting, feel free to ask me questions. I love getting questions. So please ask away. Ask as many questions as you want about anything you want, really. right, let's see here. Just working on some of the base colors, just like I did on the face, trying to work out the values and all that stuff before switching to my pencils and doing a little bit more detailed work. Hello, Julie. Thanks for coming by the live stream. All right. Now she has this shadow underneath her chin, and I'm trying to find what color would be best for it. It's really reddish. It's really reddish. Maybe not that red. Let me try. This is a bit less red, but it also needs to be dark. Let me give this a try. Just gonna put a little bit of that right underneath her chin. See, it's a little bit too orange. I think I'm gonna go a bit darker, and then I'll add some colors over it. There we go. And then right here, need to get a nice shadow going there. Why are you in Poland in the first place? So, I'm in Poland for the first place because of my wife. She always lived in Poland, and we met while I was in college back in the United States. We met online, and we dated online long distance for a year and a half before I made my first trip to Poland for like a month. And a lot of this is already on my channel and stuff, so I'll give you the condensed version, but you can kind of look through some of my past videos and find stuff about while I'm in Poland, why I'm in Poland. But yeah, the short version is that once I graduated from college, I decided to move here and take some time off school, and that's when I really started doing YouTube full time, and it became so successful to just do YouTube and create and stuff like that. I decided, you know what, I'm gonna just shoot to make being an artist a full time job, and it's kind of worked out. I gave myself a year to reach like a decent milestone, and I reached that milestone about 6 months ago. So I'm giving myself another year to what feels like another obtainable goal. And if I can reach that goal by this time next year, then I'm going to continue. I'm going to keep setting myself, small increments of goals to maintain being a full-time artist on YouTube. I have quite a ways to go, but I've surpassed my first goal, and I reached it 6 months earlier than I ever expected. And so come this time next year, hopefully I would have already reached the goal that I want to reach, so that I can continue to maintain this career choice. Now, most of you know that I already have my bachelor's degree in mathematics. So worst case scenario, though it really doesn't sound all that bad, worst case scenario is that by this time next year, I wouldn't have reached my goal. In which case, I would start preparing to move back to the United States, and I would move back with the intention of getting a job as a high school math teacher, which was always my initial plan in the first place. I would work through whatever necessary things I would have to become a high school math teacher. And once things were to settle down or something like that, I'd most likely set up my studio again, and just on the weekends maybe record a video or something like that. I don't ever intend to just stop making YouTube videos, because I've always done it as a hobby starting out, and it's always something that I've done for fun. So it's most likely never going to stop. But if I were to not reach a certain milestone that I feel like it's necessary in order to justify continuing, if I were to ever not reach those goals, I think that it's time to reevaluate, my career choice, and kind of change gears and go towards something that is more easily manageable. For a family anyway, because if it was just myself, then I would be a little bit more lenient on my choices. But I have a wife, and I think I can't just like put her out of the equation. So yeah, I need to join a class to do pastel. So lifelike yet amazing. Hold on a second, I think I missed some. Oh, hello Anna. Good to see you. Yeah, so that's why I moved to Poland in the first place, plus a little extra there for you. I will do some video editing. Thanks for the live stream setup. Oh, you're very welcome, Michael. So, did any one of you have problem with the chat at first? I didn't see anything and could not comment. I had to refresh that multiple times. Okay. Well, hopefully that doesn't happen again. Did I do pastel work for commissions, and what was it? Does pastel for book illustrations? Okay, that's a good series of questions. So the first answer is no. I've never done a pastel commission. I've done pastel pieces that people have bought, just original pieces that people have bought. And hold on, let me try to work a little on this. But that's all I've done with the pastels. I've never been asked to do a commission, but I would probably do one if asked, because I really enjoy working with pastels. But so your second part, well, what was it? Well, it was a landscape. So I've done quite a few landscapes. In fact, my intro to pastel course is 5 landscapes, and I think 4 of those 5 original pieces sold. So I don't even have those anymore. And then I had a couple other ones that my sister actually bought. And they were just like little test pieces, but she liked them so much that she bought them. So that's all about selling my pastel pieces, but never a commissioned. Never been asked for a pastel commission piece yet. And for book illustrations, pastels, they have a really, really soft, like just a delicate look to them. And I think that they would be perfect for book illustrations, especially like a children's book, where you want the image to be like soft and inviting. The really vibrant colors appeal to children, so I think pastels would be a really good choice for book illustrations. I would, okay, so Michael, you say, I would love so much to be at this point myself, but it feels so awful hard to grow audience and even earn as much to go for a half-time job only. So, yeah, I know exactly how you feel, Michael. When I started my channel, I always hoped, like, I would when you search like drawings and time lapses and things like that on YouTube, you get like a million videos showing up, just like an insane amount of videos. And some of them have like 4 or 5 million views, and you're like, oh, I'll upload videos, and I'll get a video to go viral, and I'll just get hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and I'll do all this, and I'll just make a ton of money for really nothing. Because let's face it, if you were able to make a video, just one video a month, and every month that one video gets 1 million views, that is like a full-time income, as long as it's monetized, and you have that going, and you can collect that money. That 1 million views can be quite a bit of money a month. And for each subsequent month, if you're able to get 1 million views, and it just continues to grow, you just continue to make money. And if you're only making one video a month, that would be like super awesome. But goodness, YouTube is saturated with amazing people doing outstanding things, and it's hard. And some people get like really lucky with whatever it is they do, and it just spirals out of control. It just goes viral. I've been on YouTube for 4 years now, and I haven't come close to any of that. I have over 400 videos. I think I'm getting close to 500 videos now, and I'm nowhere near like having a viral video. Not even close. And I think in the beginning it was kind of disheartening to be putting in all this effort, and not really getting a lot of benefit from it. But I tell you what, going through all of that in the beginning was actually kind of worth it to where I'm at now. Because even where I'm at now, I get 20 so people coming to live streams to hang out and say hi and stuff like that. But the people that I do have that come over and say hi, like Chelsea, Chrissy, Samir, Anna, all of you lovely people watching right now, I have the best people. Like I would not trade all the wonderful people that I have with the small audience that I have right now for the 500,000 subscriber base and the 10,000 views a day channel. Like I wouldn't trade it, because I genuinely feel like I know my subscribers, the ones that come over and hang out on the live streams, because we have conversations, and they know things about me. I don't know too much about everybody, but I know most people by their screen name and things like that, and it's much more personal. It's like having a bunch of friends all over the world. So I always said, like, in past live streams and past drawing journals, that I don't really look forward to the time when my channel is actually so large that I can't even keep up with the chats. Like even right now, sometimes every once in a while during a live stream, like there's so much goes past me that I miss it. I try to go back. I try to see what everybody's saying, but it's hard to do that and draw at the same time. But I kind of like the slowness of my channel, in the sense that I get to really know the people. So All right, let's see here. I think I need a bit more yellowish color in her skin. So let me see. I might try this. This is quite yellow. I need to clean it off a little bit though. There we go. Add some yellow to her skin. This part, getting all the bone structure and things like that, this is just as complicated as the face. So it did not get any easier, just so you know. One of the things that I'm doing here, so when I'm putting down the pastel, and this is just going to be like kind of a general tip working with pastels. So there's these highlights, these really subtle highlights that I was saying that needs to be a little bit more yellow, and I can see them in the reference photo. I'm not trying to draw, I'm not trying to draw where the highlights are exactly. What I'm doing is I'm actually just kind of brushing a little bit of the pigment in the general location of those highlights, and then I'm using my blending sponge here to really kind of move those highlights where I want them. So I just want to say that that's kind of the technique that I'm going for the delicacy of the skin and the transitions between the colors. So just wanted to mention that in case anybody was kind of wondering what my thought process is here. And that's what it is. Oh, okay, Chelsea. So your boyfriend is Polish, and you want to move to Poland. Um, So, any tips? The first tip is when you're coming to Poland. Like, say you want to live. I assume you want to live here. Uh, oh yeah, you want to move here. When you're on your way into Poland, don't tell Border Patrol what you intend to do. Just say that you're visiting. Okay? Trust me on this. Trust me. If you don't trust me, I watch my video where I show you what happens if you tell Border Patrol that you want to move to Poland. Even if you say you want to move, don't say that. Don't even say the word live in Poland to Border Patrol, okay? Don't do it. Trust me. Um, so the other thing would be get started. You can't move to Poland without a valid reason. So unless you're going to find a job to sponsor you to allow you to get residency, or you are going to go to school here to get residency, you're going to have to marry your boyfriend. Unless you have immediately blood relatives here in Poland. So if you're going to marry your boyfriend, start the marriage papers immediately, because it's going to take about 4 months or so just to get that paperwork submitted, and then you're going to have to wait like another month for you to schedule your wedding day. And during that time, you're only allowed to spend 3 months here. So you're going to need to leave the Schengen area. So what I did is I had to make a trip to London. So during this process, I had to leave Poland because it was illegal for me to stay any longer. So what I did is I took like a $100 flight up to London, stayed a few days in a hostel for like another $60, and then flew right back. I did that twice for that reason. And then once you get married, immediately start applying for your residency. When you apply for residency, you get this little stamp that says you can stay here up until they make their decision. If you're married, the decision's most likely going to say yes, and then you'll get to stay. So that was what I had to do, and I wouldn't have been able to do a single thing unless my wife wasn't so diligent at it, because I couldn't do anything. I can't speak or read or understand Polish, so all of this stuff is going to happen in Polish. Your boyfriend's going to have to do 100% of it, unless you can speak Polish. Hold on, I think I missed a question. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, I'm happy to encourage people. I guess that's what I do most often. And I never get tired of hearing from the people that say that I encourage them and things like that. It's such a good feeling, because some days I feel like I don't really do a lot, and it's always nice to wake up to somebody that's emailed me or messaged me in some way or left a comment on a video, just saying that they love my work and that I motivated them to pick up pastels or start colored pencils or draw or do anything. It's the greatest feeling in the world, because like I said earlier, my initial plan was to be a high school math teacher because I'm drawn to teaching. I just love teaching people whatever it is that I know. Like, it doesn't even matter. It could be math, it could be art, it could be music, it could be crocheting, because I know how to do that as well. It could be anything that I know how to do, and I think that it should be just available. That's why I love these live streams, because it gives anybody an opportunity to ask me questions about anything art related that they might struggle with, and if I can help in any way, then that's what I'm going to do. And so whether I'm in a classroom doing it or I'm here on YouTube, it's just the best feeling in the world. Hello, Vignac. Yes, it is Labor Day in the United States. So hopefully I have a few more people coming by to say hi as they're just relaxing, or Americans. They're either they're probably asleep or hungover or both. So but hopefully they'll wake up and come join the live stream. I'm trying to think of what to do here. I'm not really responding to the skin tone right now the way that I want to. I think I need a little bit of white. So let me grab white here. Let me try to pull out some of these highlights a little bit. Actually, you know what? I need a bit more of this kind of grayish purple right here. Right here. Some more of the pink in the skin. Really, really bright pink. I'm gonna go with this pink here. Oh, that's really cool, Chelsea. Yeah, I'm sure he'll enjoy the trip. Um, Polish is a very tricky language to learn, but keep at it, and I'm sure you'll pick it up. My wife, she really likes Spanish language, so she taught herself Spanish, um, quite a bit. She's really good at learning languages, I think, because she's pretty good with German. She's wonderful with English, so um, she lived in Germany for quite some time. So I wouldn't say that she speaks German, but I would certainly say that she has a pretty good understanding of it, a pretty decent vocabulary in the sense that she can read it, um, and gather quite a bit of information from it. So, um, but Spanish as well. And I don't think she's ever taken any classes for Spanish. I think she just kind of taught herself because she wanted to learn it. Is there a huge difference between pan pastels and shaved normal pastel? Um, oh, hello, Mary. Good morning. Yeah, I know my live streams are quite early for North America, so in that time zone, Canada, stuff like that. But I'll be on for quite some time today. I mentioned earlier that I'm probably gonna. I've been wanting to work on this portrait so much that I'll probably finish it today because I'm so excited to work on it. It's gonna take a lot of time though, so I'll be here for a long, long time. I'm gonna add some white, bring out some of these highlights now. Um, so back to the question: is there a huge difference between pan pastels and shaved pastels? Not really, because if you just scrape off some of this pigment, it's just going to be like a powder, which is essentially what the pan pastels are. The difference that you'll have is that pan pastels, they don't have any binder. They're just pans of pastel pigment, um, and these have binder, which makes them keep their form. So the pan pastels are going to be they're more vibrant, by like a small margin, very small margin. They're just pure pigment, so I guess they're stronger in that sense. You'll probably use less pan pastel than if you were to like shave off this kind of pastel. So um, they have their benefit in that way. All right, let's see. Blend out some of this highlight. I noticed that for me, I'm kind of struggling a little bit with getting my values correct, um, on the skin here with the pastels. Now I don't generally have this issue when I'm working with colored pencils, and it's kind of funny because you have so much room for error when it comes to working with pastels, and colored pencils are so much less forgiving. I didn't think that it would have been this much of a problem working with pastels, but I'm trying to get my colors all balanced, and it's like super tough for me. I think I should probably move over to the pencils now, because I don't think I'm going to. I'm going to try to add a little bit more pink here. I want this to be nice and bright pink. And also up on the face, I didn't quite get enough of this pink on the face. So I'm going back to the face again, because I need a little bit more, just a bit more on the face with this pink. I'm going to be probably touching up this drawing for a really, really long time, I feel like. And then underneath the nose, I need quite a bit of this pink underneath the nose here. Right there. Yep. Yes, the pan pastels are quite expensive. I've actually never bought any of my own. They were given to me as a gift. So fortunately, I got some without having to chop off any limbs. But they are quite expensive. Hello, Meluja. It's been quite some time since I've seen you on my channel. We've kind of been following each other for quite a long time. I've always enjoyed your abstract graphite work. So thanks for coming by the live stream and saying hello. Alright, I'm going to try to blend out this pink a little bit here around the nose. Try not to mess up all the details that I put in last week. There. That's a little bit better. I feel like the contrast is a little bit more stark. Oh, thank you, Chrissy. I'm glad you like the way it's coming out. Yeah, I can imagine that the pan pastels just feel like they go on forever. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, trying to keep up with school and do YouTube. Trust me, I know all about that. When I was doing YouTube while I was still in college, trying to upload videos and find time to draw in the middle of doing all the homework. All right, let's see. I'm gonna jump over to this pencils now. I think what I'll start with is this color here. I think I'll try to separate her jawline a little bit so that I get a bit of separation, especially on this side over here. I might actually have to use a darker color, but this color is really good for the shadows. I can always blend it out. And it's quite purple. You know, I really like this color for the shadows on skin tone. It's just like a desaturated grayish purple, and I find this to be kind of the secret color of portrait shadows. I use this color a lot when I'm doing colored pencils. It's 862 luminance pencil. So if you're looking to do portraits with pastels, I definitely recommend the luminance 862 because it's like the magic shadow color for portraits. All right, let's see here. I got some purple, some darker shadow over here where her hair's coming in. And then just right underneath the hair. All right, let's see here. I think I need a little bit darker, lightish brown color. So let me just get that. I'm gonna sharpen this real quick. Get a nice fine tip. Oh, there we go. That is just perfect. Gosh, I love this pencil sharpener. Never gonna get tired of saying that. I swear I won't. There we go. That's the value that I need. Nice and contrasted. Also over here, get a little bit darker in this shadow right there. And right underneath the hair. And then also, gotta give her some cleavage. Might not be the best color. I'm gonna have to go over that with that lighter purple, because it's kind of a fatal mistake that people do where they darken these kind of shadows too much, and you don't want to do that because then it looks too artificial and weird. So I'm actually going to try to cover it up a little bit with a skin color, because the reason it looks so dark in like the photograph, the picture and whatnot, is because the skin around it is so light. So alright, I have that. Let's see here, what other color do I need? She has so much, she kind of has a really, really pale skin. Just a really nice pale skin color. I'm going to come up here with this light gray, desaturate that a little bit in the shadow. That will give her skin a little bit more of a porcelain look by desaturating it. Alright, some gray over here. Alright. So, goodness, I don't even know what else to talk about. So if anybody has a question, please ask me. Do me the favor, ask me a question. So I have something more to talk about. I'm trying to think, but it's so hard. It's so hard to think of something, think of an idea of a conversation, and try to focus on this drawing at the same time. I want to give as much information as I can about my thought process here, but I don't really have one while I'm also trying to think of things to talk about. It's hard to have all those thoughts at the same time. Alright, I'm going to blend this out a little bit and see where I'm at with these colors. I think that's just starting to turn out okay. I need to add, let's see, it's kind of a reddish brown. I think I'm going to go kind of dark here. I'm going to go with this reddish brown here. She's got a shadow right on her shoulder here. And add some of that purplish color just to blend it into the rest of the skin. There we go. Now I'm just going to soften the edge. Kind of blend it right into the skin. There. That way it doesn't look too harsh. Do I have an art addiction? No. I really don't. Maybe. No, I don't. I'm really controlled with just about everything. So as much as I'd love to just buy a ton of art supplies and just like draw and paint and go crazy, if I had an art addiction, I would have oil paints right now. I would find a way to make oil painting in the space that I have available. I know that I don't have the space available. So I just keep myself from doing it, which is really tough because I've said many times that oil painting, that's my favorite medium. I love oil painting. But I know that I don't have the room for it, and it's kind of heartbreaking, but hopefully in the future, you know, I'll start making more money to where I can start to grow, not only as, you know, an artist, but as a business as well. So yeah, I look forward to that point because I would really love to pick up oil paints again. Really love to pick up oil paints for sure. Alright, so I'm gonna grab another skin color here. And just give this a bit more color right in there. What is the new art supply you would like to have or try out? The new art supply? That's a tough one. I mean, now that I got this amazing pencil sharpener, I'm pretty satisfied with my life right now. But I would... Goodness. You know what? You know what I've always really wanted was just the entire set of Copic markers. I don't even know what I'd use them for, to be honest with you. I barely use the markers I have now. But it's been something I've always wanted. So maybe that? No, even better, because I'd actually use them. I would love the 244 set of the, what are they called? What's the brand? What is the brand? I was going to buy them. I was like this close to buying them, and I was like, no, I just can't throw that much money at them. They're soft pastels, Unison. It's like a 244 set of Unison pastels. And it's like $400 or something ridiculous. It's a lot. I would like that. I would like that a lot because they have like 244 different colors. Like you would never have to mix anything ever again because it has everything from the blackest black to the lightest, creamiest peach. So it's like, you know, uh, whatever color you would need, you just pick it out of the bunch and use them. And the unison pastels are like the best, the top grade. So probably those, really. Um, okay? So Chrissy, you notice that my pastel pencils are really sharp. So yeah, yeah, they're really really great. Um, and the pencil sharpener, the Helix pencil sharpener, um, well, I haven't had it for very long, so I can't attest to that going dull. So for right now, it is working like a dream come true, and I've sharpened pretty much all of my pastel pencils multiple times now. So it's working. It's working really well. It's not dulling out on me. So I don't. I can't say for sure that it's going to continue to work, but I can say for sure that it's working really good right now. Yeah, I've never actually tried any of the unison pastels because the only like I was going to order them like I said, but I decided that it probably was not the wisest um, investment at the time. And even now, it's probably not. It probably wouldn't be a very good idea for me to spend that kind of money because it's like what I make in a month. So I can't really justify um, like a whole month's earning on just a set of pastels that aren't really going to return the investment. So I have to think of things in that way. Um, I have to think of like, okay, if I buy this art supply, in what way is it going to return its investment? Because I don't sell a lot of my originals. I barely sell any of my originals. I don't sell prints. The only thing that I sell is my time, really. Like my time, experience, and knowledge. Like that's what I sell. So I already have a lovely collection of pastels that do the job wonderfully. So um, yeah, I just couldn't justify the purchase. All right, let's see. I gotta figure something out with this skin because it is not what I want. I'm gonna try to add some more yellow to it, see if that works. All right. Maybe it's this weird looking necklace thing that's messing up this this skin here, but I feel like my colors just aren't where I want them. I don't know. Let me see. I guess it's not too bad. No, I guess I haven't been trying to make sure that I'm keeping it in the camera frame, but the necklace is throwing me off. So I'm gonna try to add. I'm gonna try to draw this necklace a bit. Let's see here. I think I'm gonna try with this brownish color here. And then I gotta take like a white, sharpen it real quick. To a perfect little point here. Alright, how am I going to do this? It's kind of like a chain, a little bit of a chain, but it has like this bronze center to it. I'm going to try gray instead. Let me try this gray here. This might work. And you know what? I'm just going to gray out the stones. And then I'll try to add the details and the sparkles to them after I have it laid out. Try to get a better perspective on the placement and the balance. I changed the necklace quite a bit from the original photo, simply because I thought it was too much. It was just too much necklace. So I simplified it, and now I'm stuck kind of making it up as I go. Alright, that's a little bit better. I think it looks a bit more balanced. Let me see, I think this dark brown I think was going to look nice. Perfect. Alright, let's add some dark triangle things to these gems here. Yes, some random triangles. And then I'll go back over it with the white. And create some really sparkly highlights. So no, I'm not using the UArt paper. I'm using this is the maize colored Pastelmat. So the Clairefontaine Pastelmat. The Pastelmat comes in little glued like blocks, pads, little glued pads. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the 18 centimeter by 24 centimeter size. Pretty decent price for, I don't know, I think 12 sheets. And it has a few different colors. It has like a maize, like a creamier, like a slightly darker cream color. I think a light blue or a gray color or something like that, like a cool gray. So a few different variations of color, and they also sell them in different sizes. I went with this size. I think this is a pretty good size for practicing things. A bit smaller than I anticipated. I probably would recommend maybe one size up from this. I think they have like a 20 by 40 or somewhere around that. Oh, hello, Carmen. Yes, I do have quite a bit of pastel drawings. So the way that I store and protect my pastel pieces I do have a video on my channel. If you look up how to store and protect pastel paintings, I have a video showing you how I do it. But the short answer is that I have them in a drawer over here. I have a piece of foam board, and then I lay pastel piece down, and I cover it with glassine paper or interleaving paper, whichever one. If you're in Europe, we call it glassine paper. If you're in the United States, it's called interleaving paper. I put that over top of it. I tape that down to the foam board, and then I'll take another pastel piece and set it on top of that. Lay another layer of the interleaving glassine paper, and I just do it in layers. And then maybe I only do like maximum 3 layers of pastel work, and then I'll put another piece of foam board, and then I'll just do that same thing over and over again. So that's what I do. Sometimes I have a couple of them hanging up on the wall, just by a piece of tape, because I just haven't dug everything out to find a place to put them. But that's how I do it. I don't use any fixative or anything like that. So all right, let's try to finish this necklace real quick. Try to get some nice contrast. In order to get your jewels and diamonds and gems and things like that to look shiny, it's all about contrast. Alright, let me grab the white now. Try to bring out a shininess to these gems. Not exactly the best. Oh, you're welcome, Carmen. Yeah, storing and protecting your pastel pieces can be it can be burdensome, and it's especially kind of difficult when you have such limited space like I do. It's almost like, I mean, honestly, with how much I have to set aside to store my pastels, I can almost justify attempting to get some oil paints and start oil painting. Alright, so this isn't getting as white as I was going to hope. What I might have to try is maybe scraping off a little bit of my pastel stick and trying to press it in to get a really nice bright white. I probably shouldn't have laid the gray down. I probably should have just went with white. Just added white to all of these. Alright, let's see here. Put the white back. I'm gonna grab this purple color. I'm gonna come in here and add like a drop shadow, I guess. Just as subtle as possible. Try to give that necklace a little bit of depth. There we go. All right, so it's not terrible. I think I'm gonna grab. I'm gonna grab this. I don't quite see the color I'd like to have, but I'm gonna try the skin tone. See what it. No, it's not dark enough. I need something a little bit darker than that. Almost as dark as the purple I used. I think I might actually just go ahead and try that purplish color. And I'm going to just add some of this to the gems for a bit more light fraction. Just break it up a little bit so they're not so one-dimensional. Add a few little triangles and dots. There. That's not bad. Yeah, I have a couple. I only have like I think 2 oil paintings. I can't think of a third one. I have like 2 or 3 maybe oil paintings that I have time lapses for on my channel, but you have to go back pretty far. You could probably type in oil painting and they'd pop up, but that's about it. I haven't got to do very many, unfortunately. All right, I'm gonna add some of this gold color here. Bring in a little bit of goldish tint to the wire and reflection in the crystals. Just gonna throw some color at this necklace. There. I think that makes it a little bit better. All right, let's see. I'm gonna try to just get some really, really white spots here. By touching the corner, trying to press it in. All right, that's a bit better looking. I'm thinking now what I'll do is I'll use the back of the pencil and press it in. There. There. So now they're quite a bit more sparkly. Now, you know what? I'm going to do the hair now. So, time for the hair. Let me zoom in a little bit for you. So here's the necklace. You can see it a little bit. All right, I'm only going to zoom in that far. I'm going to start doing the hair now. And I think I'm going to grab this color. No, that's not dark enough. Let's go with this. So I'm going to sketch in the darker spots. So the necklace looks pretty sparkly, that's good. Yeah, I agree that the oils they do take quite some time to dry. But goodness, that's the medium for me, really. Like I like the oils because they take so long to dry. I love the freedom in it. It's like, it's still wet. I'll just, paint and mix and blend and I don't know what it is really about oils. I think maybe it's partially because once I started oil painting, I kind of simultaneously started my YouTube channel. It was oils that brought me back into the art world, really, because after I got out of the military, I was pretty I was pretty artistically exhausted because there was just no create there was just no creative motivation, you know. So we have this phrase in the Navy called haze, gray, and underway. And that's kind of what life feels like in the Navy. Because when you're out on the ship, there's nothing but water around. You're working with the same people. You're living with these people. Everything is gray. Everything. All the walls, everything is gray. So it's really draining. It's taxing on a creative level. So by the time I got out, I was like, I don't even know if I picked up a pencil after I got out. And then I was like, I'm going to take this painting class. And it was oil painting. I'd never done it before. And it was just like, it just brought me back to life. So, I think that's partially why I have this affinity for oil painting, because it just kind of brought me back. All right, so I'm going to sketch in the real dark spots best that I can, really. I'm going to get these dark spots and try to skip over all of the actual color. Yeah, maybe if he going into the Air Force will be a bit different than the Navy, but yeah, I would I would recommend the Air Force. You're gonna get the same benefits as far as the pay, the GI Bill, all that fun stuff. Um, and I think that using the military to your advantage can be a really, really good thing. I would never recommend, personally, I would never recommend the military as being a career option, because it just does something to you. And I saw it while I was in the military, because it's kind of ironic, uh, from my perspective. I have to say that this is my opinion, but it's kind of ironic the way that the military like turns you into a child. It's so it's funny because a majority of the people that that you'll meet in the military when you join, they're children, 18, 19, 20 years old. That's They're children. Their minds are not fully developed. Your brain is not fully developed until you're like 22 years old. So you deal with a lot of children in the military. But the funny thing is that they staying too long in the military creates a dependency, and you become a dependent of the military because there's something satisfying about a guaranteed paycheck. There's something very satisfying about having a a routine that you don't have control over, and it makes you comfortable. And me personally, I find that to be a very dangerous thing to to be yourself. And I think if you stay too long, you grow a dependency where you're like scared to get out. Like you don't want to face the real world. It's kind of like moving from your parents' basement to like an artificial parent's basement. And you really don't have, you can glide through avoiding a lot of responsibility. But at the same time, you can use it to your advantage if you go in with it. If you go in with the right state of mind. I personally did not join the military in the right state of mind. I really didn't. I wish that I had a really good mentor to help me not only get through the military successfully, but also maximizing the benefits that I could have utilized. Because from the very beginning of being in the military, I could have been going to school, and not necessarily full time, but I certainly could have been taking classes. I could have easily finished my associate's degree for free while in, and that would have just given me so much more once I got out, because when you spend 4 years and you have the GI Bill, you're really set to go to college and just get the most out of it. Like, just maximize your GI Bill. There's almost no reason not to, unless you have some way of starting a business or something like that, where you don't need a college degree. But yeah. So my best advice is find a solid mentor. Like, if he does join the military, make sure he finds a smart mentor. Like, one that's not going to push him to staying in the military, one that's going to push him to maximize the benefits for his own personal goals. Like, someone that knows the system really well and is able to guide him in the right direction. Like, that is going to be the most important thing. Yeah, before I joined the military, I wanted to go to art school. Of course, was never going to afford to go to art school, but I always wanted to go to art school to be a character development artist, because I really enjoyed drawing people and creating like my own characters and things like that. And I just thought it'd be so awesome to get into game development to create characters. That's what I've always wanted to do when I was younger. And then things changed, I guess you could say. So I was in the military for 4 years. Yeah. All right. So, Michael, you're doing your first live stream next week. That's exciting. I remember when I did my first live stream, I was really excited. So, any tips what you should draw or paint? You know what? I'm trying to think of what I maybe did. So my drawing journal I mentioned, and you can see on my channel, wasn't always a live stream. It was just me talking to the camera and then uploading that. And then when I changed it to a live stream, it didn't really change. It didn't really change. I always drew or worked on something that kind of pertained to a particular skill. So studies, like I'm doing now, I'm trying to maneuver my way around this pastel portrait. So I recommend that you draw something that's going to challenge you. Draw something that you've never done or you've never tried. Do something different that's different for you, and then share that experience. I think that for me, I've noticed that those are the live streams that tend to be a little bit better for me and for my channel. For instance, when I broke into Pastels, when I tried Pastels for the first time, many of you remember, you all got to see me do Pastels, try Pastels for the first time. And it was an experience for me and for the people watching. So do something like that. Generally, I've always had a much better response doing things like that. This portrait, the portrait Pastels, last week when I started this, that was one of the best live streams that I've done. So that's what I suggest. That's what I recommend. All right, getting back to this hair a little bit now. Hello, Elise. Thanks for coming to the live stream. Glad to see you here. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so you've worked in a few mediums already? Yeah. Well, what time is your what time will your live stream be relative to your location, I suppose? So you're in Germany, so I imagine you'll live stream at a time that I would be able to come by and say hello. Alright, let's see if I can fill this in a little bit faster. This is taking too long. I thought I'd be able to fill it in with the pencils, but it's just taking way too long. I think I can do enough of it with this here. Alright. Now I'm going to blend it out and see if I can get some coverage. Sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought after all the military talk. So if you guys have any more questions, I would love to get to them. I was thinking that I was going to get the hair done today, but I don't know. Maybe not. I really wanted to finish this today, but sitting here can certainly do a number on my back. Oh, okay, Michael. Yeah, you know what? I haven't checked my Instagram in like a while, so I may have missed your comment. Because I don't have a smartphone, so Instagram is not something that's like really easy for me to access. Like I can't access it through my computer. I can check things, but I can't post things. The way that I post things is on my iPad, and I haven't touched my iPad in like 2 weeks or something ridiculous. So yeah, I haven't been too active on Instagram. I think I posted this picture here, picture of this once I finished the live stream last week, but that's about it. I haven't done really anything else with it. But yeah, I'll try to get on Instagram and check your comment and make sure I try to make it to your first live stream. If I happen to see it, I'll share it on Facebook too. So I'll try to share it and bring some people over. Yep, I've never owned a smartphone ever, so yeah, usually that's the usual reaction that I get. Trying to think of what color to use. I think I might just try this one. This might be too orange, but I'm gonna go for it. Yeah, that's one of my ongoing jokes is the secret of how I get things done is that this is my phone. It's the least fancy phone that you can pretty much own. It does have a camera though. It has like a 3 megapixel camera, so it's like totally worthless. But yeah, I'm afraid that if I owned a smartphone, that it would take up my time because there's just so much to do on it. And I never wanted that to happen. So I make it my life's mission to never actually own a smartphone. I mean, for one, currently, like in my situation, it's not practical to spend that kind of money on an object that I currently like never use. I can't call my family because they live in America. I don't have any friends in Poland, so I don't have anybody to call. I only use my phone to communicate with my wife when like she's at work or something and we need to meet to get groceries or something like that. We communicate like that. But aside from that, I don't use my phone. And I probably spend less than $10 a month on my phone. So at most, really, at most I spend $10 a month. And it's probably less than that. It's probably closer to 5 actually, now that I think about it. So very, very cheap phone. And I most of the time my wife and I would just text, send a couple messages like, hey, I am at the store, blah, 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 or whatever. Or we're meeting and I'm like, hey, where are you? But every once in a while, we do actually call one another. But it's not all that common. So I am so cool for supporting our art community. Well, I like to be a part of the art community, and I think that if you show support for the art community, they show support for you. So that's kind of my philosophy on that, and I do my best, really. I mean, there's only a few people that I kind of make monthly pledges via Patreon. It's not very much, but I try not to make any excuses not to continue to support. Yeah, my back is starting to not really like this position. Anytime that I work on a flat surface, which is always with pastels, it's a bit less comfortable to work on. So I prefer to elevate my desk, but I always spread my pastels out around my work, like here and here and here. And I can't really do that if I raise my desk up, so Alright, let's see here. I think I'm going to blend the hair out just to see where all this color is going. Get rid of this weird, gross texture as well. Cover up the paper. Just get a fresh look at it, I guess. That pink that I added to the hair is, it's getting a little muddy, but whatever. I think for base colors it's not too bad. Yeah, so it's starting to look like something, I think. Am I recording this project? No. I decided I'm not going to record this project because I'm doing this. I'm turning the paper. I'm leaving it free to move, simply because I want to be able to move it. Sometimes it's really hard to have it taped down and have to like bend my hand around even when I switch hands. So I decided not to do that. And for that reason, I chose not to record this project. I mean, also, I have like a million other videos that I really need to just edit and upload. So I figured, what's this? If I were to have a video of this, how long is it going to just sit on my memory card before I finally upload the time lapse of it? And besides, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just making it up as I go. As far as technique and trying to just figure out the strategy for doing pastel portraits, because I really had no game plan. I know how I do portraits with colored pencils, so I thought, well, I'll just approach it kind of similar, I suppose. And for the most part, it's working out. I still have a little bit of issue with my contrast. I don't quite have the kind of contrast that I'd like to have. Had I been working with colored pencils, I wouldn't necessarily have that problem because I have so much experience with colored pencils, but for the sake of this drawing, it's just a learning process, so I didn't think it was necessary to record it. Alright, so the hair is starting to come together now that I'm on this next layer. But goodness gracious, my back is really starting to bother me. Another quick tip, so if you're about to lay down glassine paper to hold your hand, make sure you get rid of the dust underneath, because I had a little speck on her face, and if I would have laid my glassine paper down and then put my hand over top of it, I would have pushed that dark brown speck right into the middle of her nose. So make sure you're mindful of those little things. You're gonna want to get rid of that before you start pressing down. Alright, let's see. I think I need to go a bit darker over here. So let me grab, I'm actually going to grab black. Put that color down for a minute. And come over here and grab my really short black. And the reason my black is so short in comparison to all my other colors is not because I used a whole bunch of it, but because it took me so long to get a decent pencil sharpener, and I couldn't sharpen it without it breaking constantly, so here I am with a teeny tiny little black pencil. Alright, nice drop shadow right in this area. Heighten that contrast in the hair is really going to make it stand out much nicer. There we go. It's starting to look like hair. Alright, let's see. Got another shadow coming in right here. I don't know how much longer I can take sitting in this chair, unfortunately. Not with my table flat like this, it's just too much. I sound like an old man. This is just terrible. But I apologize. I really wanted to finish this today, but it looks like I'm going to stop here soon. I think most of you probably got enough of me rambling on anyway, so I'll let everybody get back to their lives. Me included, I suppose. So the left side is starting to come together. Not too bad. The skin down here took quite a bit more time than I anticipated, but I think after putting the necklace in, it started to come together fairly well. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for today. I know I'm stopping a bit abruptly, but I, either way, I hope that you guys enjoyed the live stream. Uh, it was it was definitely fun to finally get back to working on this after waiting an entire week. You love listening to me ramble? Okay, well, that's comforting to know because that yeah, that's very comforting. So no, I don't have a problem with my back, but I'm working flat. Like I don't like to work flat because I have to like kind of and I have to keep my head out of the camera so you're not staring at the back of my head. So it's a little bit awkward because normally if I tilt my table up like this, I can just sit comfortably and draw all day long. But like I said, when I have my pastels out, I have to leave the table flat so that I can all have them sitting around me. Maybe I'll try to find an alternative way, but then I'd have to tape this down, so that makes it kind of annoying. But either way, I think I got a lot done today. She's looking pretty well. Um, I still have a lot of work to do to make this to satisfy my standards, but I think it's coming out pretty good. And I've been streaming for some time now, so hopefully you guys got enough of me today to last the rest of the week. And I don't know, I trying to think of what else is going on this week. I don't think I'm putting out any more videos this week. I've got a pretty busy schedule, and I'm really trying to put in the work on the Intro to Color Pencil course. I try to avoid talking about it too much because I feel like for a month straight I said that I was going to get to it, and I really never found the time to. So I'm gonna go a little bit slower this week with the normal stuff. No other video is gonna most likely come out. I might throw together a short time lapse or something, but for the most part, I'd like to try to get to work on the colored pencil course. I also need to sign up for my Polish class, so yeah. So here's a look at what we got complete today, and I'll see you guys next week for sure. So enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Peace.